Hello and welcome everyone. We are continuing with the lesson number 1 of class 10 that we follow in CBSE of geography. So today we will continue with a new topic of that lesson, that is soil. Soil is an important resource, and without soil it is difficult for any type of living being to survive in a particular environment or in a particular circumstances. So let us start with the profile of the soil profile, what it is called. So when we see the soil is the topmost layer of the earth. The topmost layer of the earth where plants can grow. This is the definition for soil, that is known as soil. So the soil can be divided from starting to bottom. It is of 4 types. First is the topsoil. Topsoil consists of 2 important things. One is humus, that is organic thing which is made up of living things. When living things die and decompose with the soil, then it is turned into humus. This is known as organic materials. And all the non-living things that mix with the soil is known as inorganic materials. So it is made up of 2 important things, that is organic and inorganic materials. And the things that comes from below, the hard rock, it breaks into small pieces. It forms the topsoil. Then next is the subsoil. Subsoil is the bigger particles of soil which is broken sand, silt, clay, etc., which is little bit bigger particle of soil. But the topsoil is very finer particle of soil. Then below that, it is the weathered parent rock. It is the parent rock from where the soil first started. It is the parent, the main rock, from where rock was started. Then from there, when it is weathered, the upper portion is weathered parent rock. Then the below, the base, it is called as bedrock or the main parent rock. So from here only on, this soil started, or breaking of the soil started. This is not yet, this part is not yet touched, so it is called as parent rock. But when weathering will be started from here, then it will go up and different form it will be taken, it will take part. So this is the soil profile of the soil. So soil is an important component where for living being. Without soil it is not possible. Plants cannot grow, and if plants cannot grow, then no other living being can exist on the surface of the earth. So let us next move to the factors that affect the formation of the soil. There are certain factors which affect the formation of the soil. So first factor is here relief. Relief means the type of landform, whether it is a mountain, a plateau or a plain area. So based on that, the type of soil will be formed, will be different based on the type of relief or the intensity. Either it will be formed very huge or very speed or very slowly. That will be also different based on the relief. Next, the parent rock, the type of parent rock. Based on the type of parent rock, the characteristic of the soil that will be formed will be different based on the parent rock, what kind of rock is there. So next is climate, whether the climate is very rainy or it is dry or whatever it may be. Based on that, the type of climate will be based on that, the speed of or type of soil that will be formed will be different. Next is vegetation, the type of vegetation found, type of trees, plants, creepers, etc. is found. Based on that also it will determine what type of soil will be found there, what will be the speed of soil formation, etc. Then other forms of life. It is not that only human being is there. Other than human being, there are animals, then even microscopic organisms which live on the surface of the earth. So all these animals, also small even microscopic organisms, also helps in the formation of the soil. These are one of the important factors which helps in the formation of the soil. So from this we have understood that soil is a very important component, or soil is a very important part of the earth's surface, without which it is impossible for us to survive, because plant is the main producer of food and plants grow only on soil. Then other than that, we do agriculture. Agriculture also is done only on soil only. So without soil it is impossible to survive on this land. But based on different characteristics like its color, texture, then where it was formed, what kind of agriculture can be done. So based on all these factors, all these characteristics, soil can be divided into various types. Now next move to the types of soil or different types of soil that is found in India. So let us come to the first classification of soil, that is alluvial soil. So alluvial soil is the soil that is formed by the deposition of rivers. So when rivers deposit beside its bank, the river and its tributaries deposit beside its banks, so the alluvial soil is formed. So here also in India, the whole northern plain is totally covered by alluvial soil. So if you see the river Indus flow from this way, then river Ganga flow from here, and river Brahmaputra flow from here. So beside this river Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra, it is dominantly alluvial soil is found in this region. Beside that, here there is river Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. Beside this river also, near the mouth of the river, this alluvial soil is found in abundance. So alluvial soil is very important soil that is found in the river valley of India, and majority of the India in the river valley of India is found, alluvial soil is only found. So this alluvial soil can be divided into three types from the river. This is the river. The first division or the newer alluvial soil is known as Khaddar. This is known as Khaddar soil, and the older alluvial soil is known as Bhangar soil. So this is the soil which is renewed after many years, 5, 6, 7, 10 years, 20 years. But this Khaddar soil is every year it is renewed by the river by deposition of new sand and silt by creating flood. This Bhangar deposits also consist of Kenkar. There is one kind of important big soil that is found in this Bhangar deposit. So this alluvial soil mainly consists of sand, silt and clay. Sand, silt and clay. So it is the most important component of that we find in alluvial soil. So also it is alluvial soil is most importantly good for cultivation of paddy. Paddy means rice, from where we get rice. Then sugarcane and wheat from where we get flour. So this soil is very important for production of different kind of agriculture. The most important agriculture, this is rice and wheat. Alluvial soil is used for doing this agriculture. That is why this alluvial soil, the area of alluvial soil, that is the northern plain of India, is very rich in agriculture. So agriculture is predominantly an important occupation of the people living in the areas of alluvial soil. Let us come to the next classification of the soil, that is black soil. So black soil is also known as regur soil. So this black soil is mainly found in the Deccan Plateau region. So first you should understand about the different classification of India, physiographical divisions of India. Then it will be easy for you to understand the division of different soil. So it is found mainly in the Deccan Plateau region, that is in the southern part of India, and it was mainly formed due to the formation of lava. The flow of lava that took place from the volcanic eruption in the very past. So from there only this black soil have been formed. So it is mainly found in the states of Maharashtra, then some parts of Andhra Pradesh, then Gujarat also, some parts of Gujarat also. So the main factors that affect the formation of this soil is parent rock climate, parent rock plus climate. So black soil is very much related with its parent rock, from the rock from where it is formed. It is very much related with the parent rock because it is black in color, and the parent rock from where it has been formed, that is igneous rock. So it is also black in color. So parent rock and climate is only the factor which affect the formation of black soil. So other characteristics of black soil is it is fine and clay. Fine means very small in particle, and it is clay. Clay means when water is added to it, so it becomes very molten state. It turns into very molten material. So it can hold moisture. Water it can hold for a very long period of time. So water cannot go inside the soil. It is not very porous very easily. So next it is sticky. It becomes very sticky when it is wet. So only before, when the first shower takes place, when the first rainfall comes, at that time only if someone do the work of plowing and all, then it is easy. Otherwise, if it becomes very wet, then it becomes very difficult for plowing, also for doing agriculture. So next, when it becomes dry, in the dry summer season or hot season, it gets cracked. So it gets cracked, and due to that, a huge amount of cracks occur in the area where this soil is found. So this type of soil is used for cultivation of cotton. Cotton is the very famous agricultural commodity or product that is done in the black soil. The black soil is also known as black cotton soil. So sugarcane, recently a new findings have been done that sugarcane can be also grown in black soil. So growth of sugarcane is also very good if it is grown in black soil. Next type of soil is red and yellow soil. So this red and yellow soil is mostly found in the Deccan Plateau of India. So mainly in Chhattisgarh, Orissa, this region, and some parts of Kerala, then Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, then some parts of Maharashtra also in the near the coast. Now this soil is formed in the igneous rock, where there is igneous rock and very low rainfall. So with the help of low rainfall and in igneous rock, this kind of soil is formed very easily. So this soil is red in color. If it takes the form of red in color, because the iron is present there, diffusion of iron. If you have seen in iron, water used to react with iron, then rust take place. The rust is color of red color. So when rust take place, it takes red in color. So in this soil also, iron diffusion takes place due to reaction of water, and it becomes red. So this iron, when it's in hydrated form, so it becomes yellow also in some parts where it is not red but it is yellow. It may be yellow also. So due to this soil is also known as red and yellow soil. So this type of soil is used for cultivation of different kind of crops, like the cereal crops, not except rice and wheat, other kinds of cereal crops, and it is also used for extraction of some kinds of minerals. So next classification of soil is laterite soil. So the laterite soil, the word laterite comes from the word later in Greek, that is in Latin word later, which means brick, where brick is made, or color of the brick resembles with it. So it develops, this type of soil is found, or it is formed in the area where there is temperature is very high and heavy rainfall. Both high temperature and high rainfall, then this type of soil is found. So in India, this type of soil is found in very limited regions. Some parts of northeastern states of India, Orissa, Jharkhand, then some parts of this Rajasthan, then in the southern part of India in a small patch. So this type of soil has very less humus. Humus means the organic content of soil, which is needed for fertility of the soil. So its humus content is very less, because the organism which should be present in the particular soil for enriching the humus, this microorganic organisms, it used to go away, because it cannot bear in the type of temperature where this type of soil is formed. In that temperature, this organism cannot survive. That is why this organism go away. That is why its humus content is very less. Then if anyone want to do cultivation in this type of soil, then he should add excessive manure or excessive fertilizer. That fertilizer he should apply in this type of soil, then only he can turn it to do cultivation. Then in parts of Kerala, Tamil Nadu, in these parts, with some artificial techniques, applying some artificial techniques, this soil has been used for cultivation of coffee, tea, coffee and cashew nuts in some parts. Let us move to the next classification of soil, that is arid soil. Arid soil is only found in a small part of India, that is in Rajasthan. It is known as Thar Desert in Rajasthan. Only in Thar Desert in Rajasthan this soil is found. So this soil is in color it is red to brown. Either it is red or little bit lower than red, then it can become brown. Then its characteristics is sandy. As you know, it is sandy soil. And saline. Saline means the salt content in this soil is very high because of high evaporation. Because it is in the desert area, the evaporation is very high. The water absorbing quality, water availability is very low. So evaporation, due to evaporation, the salinity of the soil is very high. And because the salinity is very high, there is no humus is found. It is not at all fertile. No type of cultivation can be done in this type of soil because there is almost no humus is found. Then its evaporation is very high. So after doing certain kind of applying certain kind of technique or artificial method, in some parts of western Rajasthan it has been using, the people living there are using this soil for some kind of agriculture, but it is very difficult to do agriculture. Though with the help of modern technique, the people in western Rajasthan, they are doing some kind of agriculture there. Next, let us come to the last kind of soil, that is forest soil. So forest soil is found in the mountainous regions of India. That is, here it is the Himalayan mountain. So in this mountainous region, either in Kashmir or in parts of Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim, in this part mostly the forest soil is found. So this forest soil is found in the hills and mountains. Then characteristics of this soil is that it is lumy and silty. Lumy means very fine in particle, and silty means it is grain type. So this type of soil, there is denudation because there is high rainfall. Due to that, the top layer of the soil sometimes goes, so denudation takes place. Due to that denudation, it is low humus. Humus is very less in this type of soil. So in the upper part of the slope, so if this is the mountain, then not in the top there is denudation. Then when it goes, and in the lower part of the slope, where the lower slope, it is fertile, because when denudation takes place, the soil is taken from here, and at the lower portion it is deposited. So in those portion, it is little bit fertile, and this is done. This area or this part is used for doing different kind of cultivation, also like cultivation of fruits and vegetables. Now let us go to the next topic, very important topic, that is soil erosion. So soil erosion is one of the very important problem that different countries are facing at present. So there are soil erosion means taking away the top layer of the soil when rainfall takes place, or when river water flows over, it takes away the soil. Why it happens? Because the top layer of the soil becomes very loose. Nothing is there to hold the soil. For that only the top layer of the soil is gone. Now soil erosion and soil formation both takes place at the same time. If naturally it happens, the soil erosion also takes place, again soil formation also takes place at the same time. So it is not very problem. But when human interference come in between, then the soil erosion takes place very speed, soil formation becomes very less. That is why it is a loss of soil or soil degradation, you can say. So the main factors or main causes responsible for soil erosion first is deforestation. Deforestation means cutting of the trees for different purposes. It may be for clearing the land, it may be for clearing the land for obtaining wood for fire, for making different furnitures or different paper industry or something using in different industries. If deforestation takes place, as a result, if there is no plant, then the root of the plant it used to hold the soil. As I told you, holding the soil is very important. So if the root of the plant used to hold the soil, then from over that soil, if water flows also, then also it cannot take away the soil. That means there will be no soil erosion. So next is overgrazing. Same only, if on the same plot of land, if cattle it used to graze for very long time, then it will eat up the grass. First it will eat up the grass. It will not only eat up the grass, but later on it will eat up the roots also. Because on the same plot of land it has been grazing for very long time. Now there is no grass, then it will eat up the roots also. Now when the roots of the grass will be eaten up, then when over that soil water will flow, then it will take the soil. So overgrazing is also one of the very important factors. Next is construction. For construction of different kinds of buildings, industries, roads, bridges, etc. So huge amount of soil is cut down, or mountains cut down, soil is degraded. So there are different problems which is related with the construction of sites. Next is mining. For different kind of areas in mountainous area, mountains are cut down to bring take out different minerals that we find in the mountain. So these areas also are totally, the land or the soil is eroded. When rainwater takes place, the soil is totally eroded from this place. So these are some of the important points due to which soil erosion takes place. Now let us move to the next topic, that is types of soil erosion. Different types of soil erosion. The first type of soil erosion, it is gully erosion. So gully erosion is the type of erosion in a big plot of land when rainfall takes place, and it is totally made up of sand, very loose kind of soil. So when it is made up of sand, so the water that is accumulated due to rain will dig the land, it will make a small gully, like then it will flow through that gully. So it will take the soil, whatever through where the water will flow, it will take out the soil. So it will make a gully. This type of land, this type of erosion is actually known as gully erosion. So it takes place in the area where there is totally no vegetation, no plant, no grass, and only it is made up of soil. So next, due to this type of erosion, the area totally become not good for cultivation, not unfertile, it becomes unfertile, and the land becomes very bad for cultivation. So this type of land is also known as bad land. In the Chambal basin, it is known as riverine. Next type of erosion is sheet erosion. So when in a plot of land, in a plain land, there is no soil. In that plot of land, there is no vegetation, no grass, no plant. So in that plain land, when rainfall takes place, then the water, it flows over the land. Plain it flows over the land. There is no vegetation, no grass, it flows over the land. Water, when it flows over the land, then it takes up the top layer of the soil. The top layer of the soil, when it is taken up just like a sheet of paper. So when it takes up the top layer of the soil like the sheet of the paper, it is known as sheet erosion. So next, wind also cause erosion. So when wind flows from one part to another, the top layer of the soil, mainly in the area which is arid region, where the soil is very dry. So in those regions, the top layer of the soil is totally taken away by the wind. It takes place mainly in the desert area, like the sand dunes. Sand dunes go from one place to another due to this type of erosion. So next is, due to wrong plowing also sometimes erosion takes place. Suppose this is a mountain, this side it is higher part of the mountain. Suppose this is the mountain and this side is the higher part of the mountain, this is the lower part of the mountain. This is the higher part, this is the lower part. Now plowing, if it is done in this way, from the higher to the lower, this is the wrong method of plowing, because when rainfall will occur, rainfall will take place, then the water will flow from the high to low. As it will flow from high to low through the drain or the drain like structure that is made due to plow. So the water, when it will flow through that drain like structure, it will take the soil with it and it will erode the soil. This is the wrong method of plowing. Due to this wrong plowing also, sometimes erosion takes place in the hilly regions. So let us move to the next point, that is soil conservation. So there are different methods can be applied for soil conservation. First method is control plowing. We have already discussed that wrong method of plowing. So plowing along the control line can be helpful for soil conservation, because this is the mountain, high and low. So here this side is high and this side is low. Instead of doing plowing in this way, if it is plowed from this like this, then when rainfall will occur, then the water that comes from rainfall first will stop in this line. Then again it will cross, then it will stop in this line. Again it will cross, it will stop in this line. So the gully-like structure that is created by the plow will stop the water from flowing. As a result, the soil will not be eroded. This is one of the right method of plowing along the control line. This is called control plowing. Second is terrace cultivation. So if in the mountainous region someone want to do cultivation, so if in this way he will do cultivation, then while plowing top layer of the soil will be loosened. Then when rainfall will take place, the whole part of the soil will go. So instead of this, if he develop this kind of terrace, that is like step like structure, so if rainfall will occur, then first it will stop here, then next it will come and stop here, next it will come and stop here. So the water will not flow directly, but it will stop and flow. As a result, the soil erosion will not take place. It will go in stepwise. So this is also one of the method in the mountainous region, by applying which good kind of agriculture can be done, soil erosion can be stopped. So next is steep cropping. So in the areas where there is arid soil and little bit the soil is dry and the wind used to take the soil, so in the agricultural field they may keep little bit space in between, and in those space they may allow grasses, long grasses to grow, so that when the wind blows, the grasses stop the wind and the soil with the wind will not go. It will be stopped by the grass. As a result, there will be less soil erosion. Similarly, shelter belts can be developed. Shelter belt is the growing of plants or growing of trees in a disciplined manner. Suppose this is the agricultural field. Beside this, if trees are grown in disciplined manner, or in a similar way like this, the trees are grown, then also the soil erosion will be stopped, either by wind or by water. The soil erosion will be stopped because the root of the trees will hold the soil. Next, in the desert region where there are sand dunes, so there where it is possible, because other plants cannot grow in desert areas, only cactus can grow. So cactus should be grown in the desert region, so that the desert cannot spread more than the periphery. What is the periphery? More than that, desert cannot spread. So if cactus is grown there, then the desert will be stopped from spreading.